Hello, hello. All right. I see Annie's coming. Let me see here. Get you on here. Let's go live. Welcome, everybody, to our Resilient Youth Live on Instagram. I'm calling this Resilient Sensitive Youth Week here at Are You Highly Sensitive? I see you. Accept. Go live with them. Try this again, Annie. I'm so happy to have a special guest, a sensitive youth joining us. And one of these days I'll figure out how to get her in here. Okay. I have invited you a couple times, Annie. Let's see. Do you see the invite on your end? I see you're requesting to join, and I'm accepting it. Just hang in there with us, folks. I have accepted your request, Annie, 4 times. Try again. Go live with. Let's see here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name's Elaine Friend, and I'm here with Are You Highly Sensitive? And I see my assistant, Wami, is here. Wami, if you can help me by giving me any advice, you can just put it in a comment. I don't think I have the capability to look at Slack right now. I got too much going on. Thanks. Don't give up on us, folks. We're here, and we're excited to share Ani's work with you. I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to re-invite you, Ani. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit to keep you hanging on with us. There you go.
Hi, we're finally here.
I can't see you yet, but I know in a moment I'm sure I will be able to.
Let me check. Let me check if I can. Can you see me now?
No, but I think it's just me. Can someone who's watching us tell me, can you see both of us? I see a heart. I think that's the case. So as long as you can see me. Ani, can you see me?
Yes, my father is online connected to us and he can see us. So,
okay, great. Yeah. Yay. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm just doing a little, thank you. Thank you so much. Someone told us to on the thing that they can see us both. So welcome. I'm so happy that we're here together and that we're doing this. It's a really, I think, an important topic, and it's so important to put your work out there because you are, to me, an incredibly resilient young woman. So tell us a little, can you just tell us how old you are, where you are, just a little tiny bit about yourself, and then we'll start with a poem.
Yes, of course. I am Ani Pascual. I am 20 years old and I am from a small city in northwest Spain. So yeah, my native language is Spanish, but I've been speaking in English for as long as I can remember. So that's
I think
not
you
an
speak
issue
it at least as well. You speak it at least as well as I do, Annie.
Thank you.
Especially just that you wrote you write your books in Spanish first, right? And then you translate them.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I translate them myself. So that's
And
another point. And
translating is it's a complicated thing, especially poetry. I'm glad that you're translating your own poetry because you get to have the feeling of the words, right?
yes, it's amazing. It's a completely different level of depth
Yes,
in. And I'm an indie author, I'm a poet, and I'm a highly sensitive young woman. So
yes, you are.
that's my brief introduction.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I Ani started following me on Instagram, and then she showed me her book, and I promptly purchased it and read most of her poetry, and it's beautiful. And I'm so happy that you're here to share it with us. Would you like to start by reading one of your poems?
Of course, yes. I would like to start by reading the last poem of my book, Sensitivity. And that poem is called Authenticity. So let me just find it. It's a poem I dearly, dearly love. Here's it. I'm going to start. Authenticity. I can't tell you how to do it. There are no shorter paths or shortcuts either. It's just you and the feeling of the moment. Oh, and then comes the ignorance. I honestly have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm worth it or if this will seriously help anyone. The only thing I know is what I want. The only thing I know is that I can. Asking yourself, why not, has exactly the opposite effect. All those tactics do not help me because what I want is to love. Love my trait, love my sensitivity, love my poetry, love my truth. How can this serve any purpose? I don't have the answer. I don't have the door. I don't even know it. I have neither reason, nor authority, nor independence. I don't even have enough self-esteem to deal with the losses. I am being very honest. What I do have is fear, but that's a subject for another poem.
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm creating this book. I just want to be sensitive, please people, and be happy, enjoying that we are finally visible. For us not to be afraid to express our opinion. I'm going too slow, slower than I like. I want for this to make you feel empathy, and for that every word has to be perfect. Why do I count the syllables? What about the spaces? The answer is on each blank line. I'm highly sensitive. That doesn't justify everything. Understand me, please. I'm not trying to hide behind a justification. Quite simply, our desire for peace makes us conscientious beings. Being aware of the details, perfectionism is a lurking entity. I don't take well the control, the deadlines, or the weight of the process. I want to be useful. I want the world to know me. I want to be able to say that being different is not wrong, that to be sensitive is normal. I just want to say we have talent. We just have to trust ourselves much, much more. Don't make decisions based on ego impulses, not even if it is to pay for this. That doesn't work, I tell you from experience. What works is listening, attend to other people, seek out experts, and use your ability to relate. Listen to your body. What are you telling yourself? Taking risks is not simple. The easy part is to be authentic. Sharing that with the world takes time. Now, breathe. You know what you feel. A lot of times, that's all we know. And it's okay. Speak sincerely. Stay silent when you want to shut up. What the world thinks matters, yes. But have you ever wondered what you think of yourself? That's what will, that's what will get you there. You don't have to be like anyone else. You have no reason to follow the advice of others. You are you, and that's what matters. HSP, human being, I am your friend. Between these stages, you can be whoever you decide. Absolutely all your craziness is welcome. I am so too. I am like you. I am intuitive, sensitive, and introverted. And I am also positive, kind, and alive. I also go through dark periods. Sometimes I am lost. The pain doesn't go away, but you can live with it, and in the end, that enriches the soul. I don't know what it is I am doing, but I do know it's pretty, and writing it is helping me. There is a sparkle in you, I assure you. Even if no one else sees your light, it exists. Just by existing, you're already someone. Just by living, you're already valuable. I don't know if anyone will read these words, but to me, they make sense. Don't wander through life in fear and for no reason. Find your own personality. Maybe no one has told you before, so it's my turn to tell you. I know what you're capable of. I see who you really are, and that person deserves to be. Live, keep going. Give that sense to what is happening to you. Be different and learn to appreciate it. Feel, for it is your great gift. Sensitivity is a gift. Let's make the most of it. Go out into the world. I support you. You can switch if you so decide. Embrace who you are. Embrace your presence in the present. Doing your best is not striving to overcome yesterday. The best way to do it is to know yourself and understand that every day is different and that you are not the same person you once were. The best way to do it is to incorporate your own energy into your life and start being real day after day. The best way to do it is to love your sensitivity, be that as it may, without barriers. That's what I like most about being HSP. It's something we cannot and do not want to avoid. Authenticity. This is the last poem of my book,
Wait,
Sensitivity.
I need to pause for a moment. I
Yes?
see we have some folks from your home country here, and I was wondering if you could just, if anyone here is a parent or a sensitive youth, please let us know in the comments. And if you have any questions, use the Q&A button. But while they're doing that, Ani, could you just read the last few lines in Spanish? Just choose a point toward the end and read the end of the poem in Spanish as well.
Of course.
I would love to hear it. I know it's so beautiful in Spanish too.
Okay, let me just find the last part and I will.
So remember, folks who are here, if you have any questions for Ani or me, you're welcome to ask us. Tell me when you're ready, Ani.
Yes, I am. So this part, the last part of the poem in Spanish, is more or less like this. La mejor forma de hacerlo es amar tu sensibilidad, sea como sea, sin barreras. Eso es lo que me gusta más de ser paz. Es algo que no podemos ni queremos evitar. Autenticidad. That's it.
You can't see on the camera through the glare of my glasses, but you've brought tears to my eyes this morning. And I know many people who are hearing your words and seeing you and just acknowledging the strength and resilience in you and the honesty and the transparency. This is
Thank you.
you're doing this work has been and will continue to be life-changing for so many young people like yourself and so many parents like myself.
Thank you.
So thank
I
you.
made
Now, what
myself
did you want
cry.
to say? Go ahead and say what you wanted to say when I interrupted you before.
Yeah, just I made myself cry when writing this poem. It was the last, and I wrote it while I was already editing the book for publication. So yeah, that authenticity is the last poem included in my book, Sensitivity, Poems of a Highly Sensitive Teenager. That's available on Amazon, Kindle, Kindle Unlimited, and Barnes & Noble worldwide.
Do you have a link that you could put in the comments for people so they could just easily click on it if they want to? And we will certainly in the recording, we will give you an opportunity to request the link and I'll share it with you as well.
Let's make it this way since I don't have it in copy paste.
Yeah.
If anyone wants the link, they're welcome to message me and I will and follow me if they want, and I will send them to them. I will send it to them with a hug.
Yes. And also you're welcome to message me. Okay. So, Annie, I know I've asked you this before when it was just us, but now in front of the whole crowd, and maybe the whole world, who knows, please do like and follow and share this, follow both of us and share this recording. I want to ask you, why do you think that you were able to write this poetry and then have the strength or whatever to publish it? I mean, I've written a lot and I haven't published it. I'm 59 years old.
Oh, thank you. Well, the answer is very simple. My circumstances in life have not been easy, so I have a disability, a physical disability called cerebral palsy, and I also have a terminal illness called cystic fibrosis. So I have spent most of my life between the comforting four walls of my own home. So I've had a lot of time to write and express myself in the best way I could. Poetry is a gift given by God, by the spiritual being that's higher than myself. It appeared in my life one day without me expecting it. And so I kept and kept and kept writing and writing and writing until I was satisfied with my collection that I firstly posted on Wattpad, online, free to read. And then I said, this isn't being read by anyone, and I want this message, my message of love, of sensitivity, of just trying to be the best version of yourself you can be, to get and reach more people. So I just decided to publish in book form so it can get and reach all people around the world and get to their hearts so they can see their lives improved even just a little bit within my poetry.
Yep. And I'm often preaching I just want to say here, I'm Elaine Friend, and I'm an international consultant on high sensitivity and an expert on sensitive youth. And it's my mission, the same mission as Ani, to reach everybody and to help them know that, help us all sensitive beings know that we're born this way for a reason. We are exactly as we're meant to be. And I'm here with Ani Pasquale, who has written this beautiful book, Sensitivity, Poems of a Highly Sensitive Teenager. And Ani, I think one of the things that I'm always preaching and teaching, that's why I like to say what I do, for highly sensitive people is to write, to get your thoughts and your words and your dreams down on paper. And there's something healing about it, isn't there? I mean, for you as
Yes,
well, the writer.
yeah, I like a lot of things about writing, but one of them is that I am able to express myself much better through poetry and verses that I am able to through prose and just normal speech. So I have
Mm-hmm.
an easier time saying who I am and what I feel if I just try to poem it, if you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean. If I,
Totally. And
ex-
I mean, go ahead.
if I express myself through rhymes, I suddenly make sense, and the
Mm-hmm.
world around me also makes sense. And that's a struggle for me to realize the world actually makes sense, even if I don't see it. So through poetry, I can just be in the present moment and experience what I am feeling without the constrictions of my own overwhelm. I just
Mm-hmm.
express myself fully. And that's one of the things that I like the most about poetry, that I am more myself when I write.
And I have lots and lots of journals that I wrote when I was your age and younger, but they are not the beautiful poetry that you have written. Not everybody has to, publish or be the same as Ani, but writing your thoughts down and writing your true feelings and living in authenticity is such a healing way to live. And you're making me think of this other characteristic of highly sensitive people. Maybe we should just run down because we want to make sure everybody knows what we're talking about when we say HSP, and that's highly sensitive person. It
Yeah.
means someone who processes and thinks more deeply than the majority, someone who has stronger feelings and more empathy than the majority of people, and someone who notices the subtleties and more than the majority. You can imagine how those 3 to 4 things would make a great poet if you have a gift. But what it all kind of amounts to me, and what Elaine Aron, who wrote the book, The Highly Sensitive Person, and the book, The Highly Sensitive Child, both recommended reading, what she says is that we have a very active and strong inner life.
Yes, we do.
Dreams, thoughts, feelings, poetry. We have more going on up here in terms of that deep processing. And because you've found your way to this, I'm sure this helped you to be even more resilient. Do you think of yourself as resilient?
Yes, I think of myself as resilient. I was born resilient. Given my circumstances, it was a choice for me to decide whether or not I wanted to keep living. It was
Mm-hmm.
a choice for me, and I just decided that I had something valuable to share with the world, and the world deserved to get to know me, that I couldn't just give up because it wasn't about me or even the people who loved me. It wasn't about either of us. It was about the people who don't yet know me, that could be better if they knew me. I just
Mm-hmm.
couldn't give up because there are so many sensitive people and teenagers that deserve to know they are not alone. And I just did it for them.
Thank you. I was that girl too. And I think one of the things that we know that youth, and especially sensitive youth, I'll just say this to all the parents who are watching, and everybody, even if you're not a parent, what's good for highly sensitive people is good for all people. And what's good for sensitive youth is good for all youth. But it's imperative. It is not optional for sensitive youth. And one of the things that sensitive youth need is to know who they are and to have people around them who understand them and love them for their uniqueness and for their authenticity. So, do you have that in your life?
What?
Do you have people in your life who really understand and support and love you, and you know that they do?
Of course. And I met a lot of them through the publication of my book.
Mm-hmm.
I have a group chat of sensitivity readers who just told me recently, a person told me recently, I didn't know I was sensitive. I discovered it through reading your poetry. And that makes it all worth it. It is My book is a beacon of life for people, and
Yeah.
it makes me so happy. I also have a lot of fellow indie author friends. I have a group of them too, where I support them and they support me in return. So we share different experiences on the way we see literature. I also have, well, my cover designer for my book is my best friend.
Mm.
She is Priscilla Giver and is an amazing artist. I recommend you all search for her works because she is absolutely amazing.
Nice. Is she here today on the live by any chance?
Yeah. And of course, let me just share her username. So
Okay. Also, I see that someone put a link to your book on Amazon, and I pinned it to the top of the comments. So there's the link there for anybody who would like to go and make sure you track it down. Though I just searched it on Amazon, it was easy to find.
Yeah.
So,
The person
Ani,
who shared it is my father, so thanks, Dad.
hi, Daddy. Hi, Papa. So, I think also you have the support of your parents. Is that true?
Yes, yes, I do. They love me unconditionally. My
Yeah.
father helped me to publish, and my mother is here in my poetry. I dedicated a lot of poems to her because she's my inspiration to love other people as she has loved me. So yeah, I do have the support of my parents and of my grandparents, who I also love a lot. And if I remember correctly, you and I met because I gave a like to a post you did about your grandpa.
That's right. And, you know, learning that you're highly sensitive, like you say, so most people who are highly sensitive don't know. They just think there's something wrong with them. But my grandpa was definitely sensitive and just so kind and compassionate. And he and my grandma, who was more of a party girl and extrovert, not the same as me, very different. But both of them told me that the most important thing is love, and that no matter who I was or how I was, they loved me. And that message builds resilience. See, I'm going to cry again. We cry easily, we highly sensitive people, because we have such strong feelings.
But our
But
tears are beautiful.
yeah,
Our tears
so
are amazingly beautiful. We just
exactly.
need to cry, and I think that crying it's simply lovely because we are saying this matters to me. If it didn't matter, we wouldn't cry.
Yeah,
It's just saying I care for you. If I cry because of you, it's because I care. So it's
absolutely.
also a gift for others to cry for them or because of
Okay, so
them.
do you, do you see folks who are here participating and listening to this young woman, 20-year-old Annie speaking? She is the example of what a sensitive youth who is thriving is. And she has challenges in her life. She says she has a physical disability and a very serious illness. And you know what? I hate to say it, but these challenges make you even more resilient when you have sort of the safety net. But when you speak, Ani, I hear this thing that I always say about sensitive youth, that when you are in a good place and your resilient pillars are happening, you're 30 years older than yourself. You sound like
Yes.
a fully
Yeah.
mature, wise adult. And that is because of how your brain works. That's that super power of the deep inner life. And I know spirituality is also really important to you, and it's one of the 10 pillars of resilience. How does it help
Yes,
you?
it is. Well, my relationship to spirituality has been a little troubled over the years because I've changed a lot recently. I wasn't, I was trying to find my spirituality outside of religion, and it came a point where that was that was simply not enough. So I turned to the religion that best suited my heart, that was Christianity. So thanks to my best friends, I was going through a very difficult time in my life and my personal relationships, suffering in relation to everyone that I encountered. They made me suffer. So they told me the answer you're searching for is in God. And I tried it. I gave it a month of trying, simply getting to know myself in this new way that I wasn't before, because I was an unapologetic pagan youth before this year. So yeah, I just gave myself time to process everything, and I discovered I am very happy. I am the happiest I've been in my whole life. Well, when I just switched to religion. That being said,
Why? Why? What is it about the Christian religion that does this for you? Do you know
yes,
what helps the most?
yeah, the sense that I don't have to do it all myself.
Mhm.
When I was pagan, I thought I had to do a lot for myself, and the gods will just grant me whatever I asked for if I did all the correct things. But with Christianity, it's not like that. I can just say, oh God, I'm afraid. I don't know how to do it. And Jesus just tells me, okay, you don't know how to do it. Let me handle it. I can. And
Right.
that gives me a lot of trust in life, in my experience, that I don't have to work so hard for everything. I can just say what I want and then say, your will be done, and
Mhm.
will and it will be all perfect, because God is perfect. God is mercy, and I don't have to do it all myself, because He loves me and He will help me, so I'm not alone.
And you know what, Ani? What you're talking about is faith.
Yes.
Faith in a higher power, a power greater than yourself, faith that there is something out there that will help you. And I'll just say to everybody, I've also been a pagan and a Christian, and I think that if if youth can have religion, it is so much easier. How can you survive adolescence, especially sensitivity as a adolescent, without some kind of faith? Because it just feels like life is too hard. How could it possibly make sense? So I think your faith, someone says here, hearing your story is a blessing in itself. And I agree, your faith is beautiful, and I hope it continues to serve you. And I want to give you some advice, if I may. Is that okay?
Yes, of course. Of course.
If at any time you're questioning or doubting, or you feel like it's not working for you, I want you to understand and believe that faith is always there for you. And however you frame it, however you use it, having a spiritual practice and having faith that you are cared for and taken care of, that's not connected to religion. That's connected to you. So you always have that. May you always have it for the rest of your life, and know always that you are taken care of. So I love your strong spiritual sense and spiritual knowledge and seeking. You know, that seeking is such an important piece of it. And you know, I always think, how could a sensitive youth, how can a person, get through this really challenging life without some kind of faith?
Yes,
So
in my experience, my life after the setbacks and challenges I have inherent in me, has been full of blessings, unexpected blessings the most. So you and I met unexpectedly. I wasn't searching for you, and then months afterwards, here we are, and you just helped me realize help me make true one of my biggest dreams ever, that is getting my poetry all the way through to Elaine Aron. She's my she was my everything for a few years in my
yeah,
teenage years. So it made me cry a lot. So yeah, people,
yeah,
if I can give you some advice, embrace the unexpected. It's full of blessings. Just do your best to flow with what life gives you. Because if you do your best, good things will come. Just trust.
that's beautiful advice, honey. I taught a workshop on resilience with Linda Graham. Linda Graham is a great author and also a psychotherapist like me, who wrote a couple of books on being resilient. And she said that resilience means the capabilities and inner resources to cope quickly and effectively with any crisis or distress. It's always needed. We lose our car keys and our wallet. We discover mold in the bathroom. Our dearest friend moves across the country. Our dearest friend gets a scary diagnosis. Especially in times of rapid change and uncertainty, skills of resilience are needed more than ever. We need to learn the strategies and deepen the underlying practices that allow us to cope with any disappointment, any difficulty, and any disaster. And we can learn that. And I feel like you have.
What?
I feel like you have learned that. You have learned
Yes.
the skills that you need to
Yes.
cope with whatever comes your way. And
For
that's
me,
just so important.
my definition of resilience is just knowing myself and doing my best to seize the seize the gifts God has given me,
Mhm.
and just try to live my life to the fullest and do what seems right for me and for the Lord. And in living my purpose and my calling in life, despite all setbacks and challenges, and just the days when I feel down, I just keep going. And that's resilience for me. And I keep going because I have trust in this world, and I have trust in the people I love. I have trust in my family. I have faith in the Lord, and I know all will be well if I just do my part. So I keep going, and I think that's resilient.
100% true. Thank you so much. Um, one of the reasons I chose this week to introduce Ani and her beautiful poetry. And Ani, will you get ready to read us another poem before we close, please, while I talk?
Of course.
Thank you. One of the reasons I invited Ani this week and shared her book with all of my followers this week is because I've declared this Resilient Sensitive Youth Week. Because on Friday, I'm going to be teaching a masterclass on the 10 pillars of resilience for sensitive youth. And again, good for all youth. And we have here in front of us a living, writing, speaking, loving example of a resilient, sensitive youth. And you know what that's called emotional leadership, what Ani is giving us. And we, you know, I think many young people would rather not be emotional leaders. They don't want to be the first person to cry or the person who has stronger feelings than all the other people. And Ani's unique life circumstances have set her up to honor her sensitivity. But you know what? You can't do it if you don't know you're highly sensitive. That's why this book is so important. And I'm so pleased that you wrote it because it gives parents and youth an opportunity to see that their experience is just absolutely right, even though it might not fit the mainstream. So I hope that, well, let me say one more thing that
Yes.
we see in Ani, that we see in resilient youth, which is that they take the lead in their lives. It's not that they act without the support of their parents, their school, their spiritual leaders, their mentors. They all need that and act with that, but they are able to take the lead, whether it's emotional leadership or moving forward in their life. And I think it's just so important that parents understand the very best way to support resilience in kids and young and teenagers and young adults. And you know what it is? It's actually to take a step back, to be the safety net for them, especially as soon as they hit teenage years, to be their safety net and to allow them to take the lead because they can be so resilient. And I just want to notice and honor you and honor your truth, Ani. And I appreciate you fostering brave space for sensitive youth in these challenging times. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen. This has been a blessing. So before I just read the last poem and we just close this, I wanted to give a shout out to the another person that has really impacted me in this, and that person is unexpectedly the translator of Elaine Aron's book, The Highly Sensitive Person, because in the translation to Spanish, my native language, it has been translated as El don de la sensibilidad, which is the gift of sensitivity. And that title just shaped all my poetry and
Mm,
all my life,
mm,
because I just, instead of trying to fit into a psychological model, I just experienced in my own life the gift that sensitivity is. So thank you to whoever translated this way, and
I
thank
will
you
tell
to
her. I will tell her what you said.
thank you to also all of the poets that have impacted my life until this day. So yes, I'm going to start to read one of the last poems in my book. It's called Safe and Sound,
Mm.
and it goes like, safe and sound, alive and kicking, I go self-inspiring, even if life is not really as I would like it. Safe and sound here, the words don't want to come out, my feet won't walk, and my disease, the one that makes me breathless, won't fly away, and live. Safe and sound, another day I make it. And yet, everything else is so ephemeral that I try to hold on to verses without any meaning, just to preserve the inspiration that slips through my fingers every time someone else goes fearlessly on to conquer the whole world, or maybe just one leaf. All that sempiternal. Safe and sound I am, although there is no eternal salvation, and health is a dream yet unmanifested in this lungs breathing breathlessly, simply for that which I give to all, and all that everyone gives me, paraphrasing Donés, perhaps, maybe, life, even if I suffer, its worth is worth my while, if I can be honest, and recite one more Thursday. I hope you liked it.
I love it. I really, I know you read some of your poetry in Spanish on your Instagram channel, right?
Yes, I do, and in English too.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So you all can go to put your. I think it's obvious. It's obvious here what because you're part of this. So go follow Ani and watch her videos where she's reading her poetry, especially in Spanish. Both Spanish. The language is so beautiful. If you're English speaking, of course you need to listen to it in Spanish, and it's also so beautiful. I mean, in English, it's also so beautiful in Spanish. So thank you for sharing your streaks. Somebody says you're so sweet. It touched my heart and made me tear up. Me too.
Oh,
Dang, I've gotten a lot of eye watching
so
today out of you, Annie.
Thank you so much.
My soul is cleansed by our friendship, and I'm so grateful for you. And I look forward to sharing many more conversations with you. And I know that you've touched so many hearts today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. You're a true blessing. And I'm looking forward to chatting more later too.
Take good care of yourself. And thank you to Ani's amazing family too.
Thank you.
Bye,
For
sweetie.
all of us watching, take a like hug. You deserve it. You're awesome. And I love you. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you again soon. Much
Bye.
love. Bye.